Hi guys, I'm Random here at youtube.com. Find my channel, like, subscribe, and press that bell button for notifications. As you guys know, you've seen my silly videos and stuff like that, and me lip syncing or me dancing. Yeah, I know I can see my little shape of my belly and stuff, but that's okay. It's just me. So I'm just gonna tell you something a little bit about myself, and a little bit about my medical stuff. So I have type 2 diabetes. I have epilepsy, and that's what I'm going to focus on here for just a little bit about epilepsy, because it is Epilepsy Awareness Month. And if you notice, a lot of people are not very educated in epilepsy and what it is, what it does to you, to the brain and stuff. And yes, epilepsy is associated with seizures, but it's two different things. So people don't realize that there's over 40 plus types of different seizures. Doesn't mean it's related to epilepsy. It can be just totally different from it. So I'm going to read off of here so I can remember how it works here. How epilepsy, I've had 3 seizures, tonic-clonics. All 3 were basically nocturnal seizures. I was asleep. And that usually happens, that usually happens when you're getting ready to wake up or you're falling asleep. So my last one, I think my last 2, I can't remember. Well, I just know my wife had to do CPR on me a couple times. Last one, I pretty much was dead, so to speak, I guess you could say. Was not responding to anything at all. My rescue inhaler medicine that she gave to me did not help at all. I was in a coma, induced coma, of course, intubated for a while. I don't remember how long, but I just know I was in the hospital for like 5 or 6 days. Didn't come to until the maybe, who knows how many hours afterwards, maybe 15, maybe longer. It's hard to say. So, yes, so technically I almost died. They didn't think I was going to make it through, but I did somehow. So, I'm a man of faith. So, I always pray to God every night before I go to bed or in the morning because I'm a morning person. I mean, I'm a night owl. So, as I'm talking to Kara at nighttime. But I just want to tell you about it. So, and I'm also an ordained minister, pastor, as you can say. So I'm going to read you over here. Yes, I'm using my other phone here so I can read to you. So epilepsy is a neurological disorder characterized by a long-term tendency to experience recurrent, unprovoked seizures. So usually they say after more than 2 seizures or 3 seizures, they have epilepsy. From what I read, from what I read in articles and stuff like that. Now, seizures are temporary disruptions of the brain's electrical activity, okay, which can cause a wide range of symptoms like convulsions, stirring spells, or unusual sensations. There is currently no cure for epilepsy. There's no cure at all for epilepsy, as far as they know. It can go away for a long time. There's stuff they can do and stuff, and limit your seizures and stuff like that. But they have like vagus nerve stimulation, stuff like that, and things that they put right here in your neck and stuff like that, and things in here, and little magnet that they swipe across themselves where some electricity pulse to the brain, so it knocks it back into place. So basically, what it is the left and right side are not communicating with each other the right way. Just don't know what's going on. So as I was saying, the seizures are temporary disruptions of the brain's electrical activity, which can cause a wide range of symptoms like convulsions, staring spells, or unusual sensations. There's currently no cure for epilepsy, but it can be managed with medication and other strategies. So yeah, it can be managed to a certain degree and stuff like that, but not all the time. And it's hard to find answers. It's hard to get a diagnosis for epilepsy because it just, it's very hard for the doctors. Sometimes they can get a diagnosis right away, but most of the time, no, they just don't know. So now you wonder what the symptoms and seizures. So there are seizures associated with epilepsy. Okay, so yes, you're gonna have some. So, and like I said, I didn't come to at all. I could have died. Really, I wasn't even breathing. I had a machine breathing for me, basically. My poor wife. She's scared to death, of course. So she still watches over me and stuff. Right now, I just got a CPAP machine, which is a continuous positive air pressure, which is keeping me from not breathing, whatever, not breathing. So I can breathe easier and stuff. So I don't have apneas, which means I stop breathing a little bit. But I have it mild, but still I need that. So symptoms and seizures. Range of symptoms. Symptoms vary widely depending on the type of seizures and the affected brain region. All right, I got here and here. I'm gonna fit back here, but seizures are deep in their brain usually, down in here. You know. Now, if you guys don't know, our brains have no nerves and stuff, so that's why they can do open brain surgery and stuff. And like that, I mean, they'll do one numb you up and stuff in your skin because you got nerves up here and stuff. But when you open up your hair, there's no nerves or anything, So that's why they can do a surgery while you're awake sometimes. So possible symptoms. Symptoms can include a brief staring spells, twitching limbs, or stiffening of the body. So sometimes I noticed that my body would stiffen up and go like this and shake like this sometimes a lot. But I haven't had any of that for quite some time. Now I've had 3 seizures or 4 seizures. One was a pseudo seizure, or they call it PNES, psychogenic non-epilepsy seizure. But anyway, saying that can be caused by stress and stuff like that. Loss of consciousness. Me. Some seizures involve a loss of awareness or consciousness, while others do not. Now, I had my seizure stuff when I came to. I had no idea. I couldn't remember stuff. Couldn't remember what happened or anything like that. All I know is I woke up one time in the back of the hospital, and another, or back of the ambulance. Another time, or getting ready to go to ambulance. Another time, I woke up in the hospital. A few days later, I'm like, where the heck am I? So. Do not know. You don't remember things because what happened is your other memories disappear. Other memories are taking up space from the other memories and they just throw away and disappear basically. Now seizures can last from a few seconds to several minutes. So that's why they have like rescue meals. Benzos basically, it's kind of like looks like a nose spray basically. And just push it up your nose and whatever, and hopefully it works for the best. They tell you to wait after 1 or 2 minutes, I believe, if they're not responding, something like that. So now, there's a thing called status epilepticus. A seizure lasting more than 5 minutes is a medical emergency and requires immediate medical attention. So, it's more than 5 minutes. Definitely call 911. But no matter what, call 911. So, as I learned from my criminal justice background, I took a dispatch class. If in doubt, call them out. So, 911. So, what can cause it? What does cause epilepsy? Well, we don't know. Like I said, they don't really know exactly what causes epilepsy. So the problem with this is that epilepsy, people are not educated enough on that. People think, oh, why they wet their pants? Why do they poop their pants? Why are they taking their clothes off? Why are they walking that way? Why are they staring out to space? Why are their words mumbling? Why they're not making sense or anything like that? Why are they just laying on their sides? Why are they looking out like this? You can do this to them and they don't know. We have different types of focal seizures, focal awareness, partial seizure, grand mal seizures, not grandma, grand mal. So riot factors can be caused by various factors, including brain tumors, head injuries, infections, and genetic conditions. So yeah, it can be in genetic conditions, could be inherited from your family and stuff, possibly. Now, the abnormal brain activity, the root cause is an electrical disturbance in the brain that disrupts the normal brain function. So it disturbs the brain, and the left and right are trying to fight over who's controlling what side, right? Because the right side controls the left side, and the left side controls the right because it didn't. If the right just controls the right, the left goes right, you'd kind of be looking funny. The left wants to go this way, but the right would go that way. You'd have to split yourself, right? So that's why your brain right side controls your left and left controls your right. So a diagnosis of epilepsy is often made if a person has 2 or more unprovoked seizures with at least 24 hours in between. So now that's don't know how true that is, but I'm just reading this off the AI thing. Management, the condition is managed through treatments such as medication, surgery, or dietary changes. And I know a lot of people do keto changes and stuff, like do keto diet and stuff like that for those that have epilepsy. Could be a number of things. There is a website called epilepsyfoundation.com, which is very good. It explains a lot of stuff on there. So if you want to go check that out, just check out epilepsyfoundation.com and you'll find a lot of stuff on there. It's stuff between seizures and epilepsy. Because like I said, seizures and epilepsy are 2 different things, even though they correlate with each other a little bit. But sometimes like people just have seizures in general, just seizures out of the moment, don't have any epilepsy at all, just seizures. Like I said, there's over 40 plus type of seizures. So my word is, unfortunately, which upsets me the most is that people are uneducated about epilepsy, and it's not put out there enough, and it's not funded enough, like these other foundations and stuff. So I'm not saying the other foundations are not important, but they are. Like breast cancer, stroke awareness, heart attack awareness, brain awareness, dementia, Alzheimer's. Those are all important too, yes. But epilepsy really needs to be funded more out there and needs to be done with more research out there, which I don't think it's has not been enough research out there. And it's not funded enough as it should be, as I think. But of course, as we know, the world is today, so kind of hard to get it funded today. So, but I just want to put that out there. Go educate yourself about epilepsy. Go look it up. Epilepsyfoundation.com. I'll put it in the description down below and put a link to it or whatever. So, now you ask me what kind of seizures are there? Well, guess what? Why does your body have seizures sometimes? Sometimes your body has seizures to control itself and protect the organs. For example, febrile seizures, people have febrile seizures. How about alcoholic seizures? Yes, you can have an alcoholic seizure because your body is trying to protect its organs because you drink too much alcohol. What about a fever? Yeah, you can have a seizure from fever from being too high. So, and for you adults out there, if your fever is like 102, 104 or like that, definitely call an ambulance. For adults like myself and other people, yes, go do that, please, because you can die easily. You might feel you wake up really, you might be cold or warm depending on what kind of seizure you had. So there's a lot of things you can do. Like I said, Epilepsy Foundation. So what does happen to a person with epilepsy? What happens? So basically, a person with epilepsy experiences recurrent unprovoked seizures, which are sudden surges of abnormal electrical activity in their brain. These seizures can cause a wide range of symptoms, from brief staring spells or muscle twitches to full body convulsions and loss of consciousness. Like I said, for me, depending on the affected area of the brain, the individual may also loss of consciousness. Depending on the affected area of the brain, the individual may also experience confusion, changes in sensation, or emotional shifts during a seizure, which is true. Now it says, how do you avoid epilepsy? Well, you really can't avoid epilepsy, in my opinion. So, only thing you can do really is do what your doctor tells you. Be as safe as possible. Do what you can, and do within your abilities what you're supposed to do. Because I know a lot of people out there with ability epilepsy, and some will smoke weed and stuff. Like, oh, that helps me and stuff like that. I mean, if that helps you, okay. Well, your doctor's okay with that. And sometimes it's not. Some people say no, it's not good at all. So to help people avoid, like I said, go if you know somebody has epilepsy or you don't know how somebody, go walk with them in their world and see if they'll let you talk to them, sit down with them, and ask them what it's like having epilepsy. Have them show you what goes on. I mean, you can go on YouTube or whatever, or find a website and stuff showing people that have seizures and stuff, and show them what epilepsy looks like. Like I said, epilepsy can be basically, the one I have is nocturnal seizure. It's one of the most is one of the number one ones that could kill me instantly in my sleep. I wouldn't even know it. So I thank God for being here. So thanks to my wife and the medical teams, saved me 3 times. So obviously I'm here for a reason. Otherwise I'd be talking to you right now. So to help people with epilepsy, they say reduce your risk of head injury, stroke, and certain infections. Healthy lifestyle habits like managing stress. Stress is a big cause for a lot of people with epilepsy. Getting enough sleep, that's also number one. They always tell you get plenty of sleep, at least 8 to 10 hours. Most doctors say 10 hours for someone with very bad epilepsy. So, because when you have a seizure, guess what? You're using all your muscles. Every single muscle that you have is all working. Excuse me, and you're like, oh, you're everything is stiff. You can't move. You don't want to move. You feel sore everywhere. That's because your muscles are trying to work and protect your whole body, basically. So for you people out there, I want you guys and my subscribers out there. I know I'm being serious here for this video. I know it's a long video, but this is the reason why I'm doing this long video. So I just want you guys to be educated. So I'll let you know about a little bit of myself. I do have type 2 diabetes. Like I said, I have epilepsy. I have second-degree heart block. whatever, and possible polycythemia where I produce too much red blood cells, which it can actually cause the fill up in here and something like that. I don't know the exact terminology for it, but so things you can do, getting enough sleep, avoiding excessive alcohol, maintaining a healthy weight can also lower your risk. So I know I'm a little heavy, obviously, and maintain in while some causes of obesity cannot be prevented, taking steps to prevent these underlying conditions can significantly decrease your chances of developing it. Well, sometimes there are underlying conditions that you get epilepsy from. It could be inherited. You know, check with your family. See if you know anybody in your family now. Do they have epilepsy or somewhere down the line that you know of? Like I said, you can be seizure free for a long time. I've been seizure free, not quite yet, but almost 3 years. But that doesn't mean that it could happen again. It's always possible that it could happen again and come back. But we just don't know. And like I said, general healthy lifestyle habits for people with epilepsy. Avoid alcohol and drugs. Excessive alcohol and recreational drug use can trigger seizures and increase the risk of developing epilepsy. So see, you could develop epilepsy even if you had seizures. So yeah, as I told you at the beginning of the video, epilepsy and seizures are two different things, but they do correlate sometimes. Enough sleep. Sleep deprivation is a common seizure trigger, so prioritize getting adequate and consistent sleep. All right. So yes, my doctor told me to make sure I get consistent sleep all the time. Eat a healthy diet. Maintain a healthy weight and a balanced diet can support brain health. Yes, do that. Exercise regularly. Exercise regularly within your abilities. Don't overdo it. Regular physical activity has many health benefits and can help reduce your risk, but you should consult a doctor before starting a new exercise. So that's all I want to say about it, guys. Go talk to somebody that has epilepsy. Get an understanding for it. Educate yourself. Understand how it works and what it does to people's bodies and excuse me, and why it affects them and how it affects their social life too. Because people are harassed and made fun of all the time. So it's not fun for them. It affects their, like I said, social life, dating life, love life. They can't, even job descriptions, and people, say they don't, excuse me for a second. Sorry about that, Annika. Sometimes even jobs, you don't have to tell them that you have epilepsy. It's none of their business, really. But they do find out, obviously they'll try to find a reason why they get rid of you and stuff like that. If you want to tell them, you can. But it's, now, epilepsy falls underneath the ADA, which is a whole nother thing, American Disability Act. So yes, it does fall underneath there, believe it or not. So if you feel you've been harassed or discriminated because of your epilepsy, I suggest you get yourself a disability lawyer and do what you can. Go to your HR, but who's HR really for? HR is really for the company, right? It's not really for you if you think about it. They're there to protect the company, not you. They're more in keeping the profits and stuff for the company up. So at least most of them, from what I understand. That's how I read, but I could be wrong. So anyways, guys, please go educate yourself on epilepsy and go talk to somebody that has it. Go visit people maybe that have it, people you know. Just please go educate yourself. So like I said, people with epilepsy, it's very hard for them to find a job. Very hard. A lot of people sometimes are let go because they're epilepsy. But remember though, company, if they want to hire you, but you have to let them know that you need to be accommodated to a certain degree. So they do have to accommodate you. So, but as I said again, the ADA, it falls underneath the ADA. Epilepsy does so. But so like if you feel like you've been victimized by your work or whatever, or harassed, or feel like you're let go for wrong reasons and stuff, and you feel like they were discriminated against, and get yourself an ADA lawyer that's maybe underneath the what do you call it, ACLU lawyer also would help you. So anyways, this is circuitrun@youtube.com. Like my channel, subscribe, leave a comment, and tell me what you think about epilepsy. Leave something about in the comment there. Tell me what you learned from somebody, or what you like about it, or don't like about it. Even those that have watched this, you know, for those that, if you do have epilepsy, let me know your story. And write it, write it in the your comment there, and tell me a little bit about your story. So, like I said, there's epilepsy foundations out there, even your local area, county, state, and stuff. They will help the best you can. So, like I said, people, for those that don't have epilepsy, please go educate yourself. I highly recommend that you go understand it and see why people with epilepsy feel like they're harassed and being bullied all the time. So, you guys have a great day or a great morning. This is circumrandom.youtube.com. Like, subscribe, and press that bell button for notifications.